I get a good feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. I get a good feeling, yeah.
Hello and welcome, Ripple Mania. Are you guys excited? Are you ready to rock and roll? How many times do you get to come to a webinar where people are having fun like this? We're dancing, we're doing all kinds of crazy stuff. It's exciting, isn't it? Well, I want to welcome you guys. Let's have the time of our lives in the next hour. We got some great content, but let's first check in and see where you guys are coming in from. Check this out. We have got people from all over the world checking in from pretty much almost every continent, even people that are up in the middle of the night right now. Some of you are just starting out your day, and we're super excited to connect with you guys because in the next hour, we want to share with you some insights, some amazing content, and we want to talk to you about this ultimate game of life that you've been hearing all kinds of things about. So pretty cool stuff. And I'm going to close this down so we can get rocking and rolling, but we're here to have a good time. So check in, type it in, and let us know where specifically you're calling in from or where you're checking in from, okay? So give me a heads up, type it into the chat. This is a live interactive webinar. Portugal, Columbus, Boise, Naples, Arkansas, Folsom, West Palm, Portugal, Seattle, Pensacola, Alabama, Boston. Here we go. It's just crazy. All over the world, Vegas, Michigan, Georgia, live from Vegas. All right, well, welcome everybody. We're super excited that you're here, and let's get diving down into this because we're here to talk about a 90-day challenge that can transform your life, your business, your wealth, your health, and your happiness. So my special request is this. Grab a pen and paper or grab some notes, turn off your email, get rid of the distractions, and be fully present because this thing that I'm about to talk about behind me could potentially shift the way that you see your whole life, right? It's going to be an incredible hour. As I've already said, my name is Jim Bunch, and my mission in life is really clear. It's to inspire happiness, health, and wealth worldwide. Now, I just want to make sure I got the right audience here. How many of you would love to figure out how to have more wealth, more health, and more happiness? Type in I. Give me a heads up. If you want any of those or all of those, okay. Look how fast that's going. Awesome. Well, we have found that most of the people across the world, they could use a little help with doing that. And a lot of people, you know, they're in this game called life, but they've never looked at it like a game, and they've never figured out how or cracked the code on how to be wealthier, healthier, and happier. Would you guys say that that's true? Well, I would think so. But let me ask you guys a question. Why are you here? Why is it that some of you were up late at night or early in the morning or right in the middle of your day? Why are you here? What are you hoping to learn, or what are you hoping to get out of this, or what is it that you want? So Carolyn's saying, you know, I want to get unstuck. How do I get unstuck in my life, right? Some of you are saying I want wealth, right? Some of you, Stacy's saying I want to grow, okay? What does that mean to you specifically? Some are saying, hey, I want to have more fun. I want to make some money to help other people. Right? I love personal development. I want to go to the next level in happiness. That's awesome. All right? To create a movement. Absolutely, J Bud, for sure. Some of you want freedom. You want mental freedom, emotional freedom, time freedom, financial freedom. And those aren't just things you hear about. Those are things that if you put the right strategy in place and the right environments in place, you can experience them, right? All right, you want to make a shift in big ways. What else? All right, you want to become a better leader to help other people. Yeah, leadership is not about telling people what to do. It's about being the change that you wish to see in the world, okay? Some of you have some conflicts, right? Some of you need to do a complete life change, right? You've just got to shift the way you're doing life. The paradigm from which you're coming from has to change, and we know that. So the beautiful news is this. That's why we're here. And what we're going to do is we're going to break this webinar into 2 chunks. The first chunk, I'm going to share with you some really incredible ideas. We're going to discuss 3 main topics. I'm not going to tell you what they are, but you'll get them. And we're going to discuss 3 main topics that we've learned from helping thousands of people across the world in over 44 countries change their lives. And I'm not talking about just information. I'm talking about actually changing their lives. And it starts today. Like, this isn't a, hey, let's do this next week or next month. Your game starts right now. And so during this webinar, you may notice that we share some ideas that get you to think differently. You may notice that I challenge you. Like, I may come right at you and say, hey, your beliefs that you have about wealth are holding you back. Your beliefs about what you think is possible in your life is holding you back. So this is an interactive webinar. This is not a broadcast. This is interactive. I want to hear from you guys. I also want to set the tone for this environment because it's live and interactive, and I want to leave the chat that way. This is an oxygen-rich environment, meaning it's 100% positive. That doesn't mean that you don't say, hey, I'm having an issue or I can't figure this out. It means that we want to stay focused. In other words, no side conversations, no distractions, because I'll call you guys out on it. And if I have to, I'll kick you out of the room, right? Or kick you right out of the event. But more importantly, I really want you to look at your life right now. I want you to ask yourself, are you doing life by design or life by default? Okay, life by design or life by default. And somebody's saying there's still music going. Are you guys okay? Can you hear me, or is the music still going? Is there music? There's no music there. Okay. So you might have something playing in the background. Thank you for the heads up. I started going, wow, do we still have the dance music? Let's have fun. We will also be dancing in another 20 minutes, and we'll dance in another 50 minutes, right? Because we want to continue to have fun. All right, awesome. Now, let me ask you guys a question. How many of you who are on this webinar have ever been to a motivational seminar or some kind of rally, right? You've been to a convention, whether it was at work or church or, whatever convention it is, right? Most of you guys, yeah, and you're even naming some of the people, right? Like Tony Robbins or some of these guys. Listen, I've been around that industry for 20 years, and I noticed something. I thought that what we were doing at those events was we were giving the people these life-changing experiences, and in some cases they were. I mean, the music, the lights, the energy, the people, it's like that's not normal for most people, right? So you come into these events for 2 to 3 days, but what would happen shortly after you leave? What would happen shortly after you leave those events? Right? They're fun, they're inspiring, there's great connections there, but what happens after you leave the events? Do you continue that? Interesting. Here's the thing. Those events are designed to inspire and to motivate and stretch you. That's what they do. They get you out of your normal environment. They put you in a new environment where we can control that environment. But how many of you at these events have also set goals that you did not achieve in 90 days? Be honest. How many of you set goals that you did not achieve in those 90 days, no matter how much you wanted it? Now, how driven you are, right? All right, I'm going to talk about why that happens, and there's 2 main reasons, okay? Number 1 is you were programmed and conditioned to not succeed. In other words, you were set up to fail. But number 2 is the power of your environments. And on this webinar tonight, we're going to give you an opportunity to come play the ultimate game of life, our environments that create wealth, health, and happiness. But regardless of whether you play or not, and I highly recommend you do, this concept changed my life, and I want to share it with you. And you may finally understand why so few people actually achieve success, no matter how many of these things they've been to. Okay? So here's the deal. All right? And Darcy, you may need to look at you may need to look at something else going on in your webinar background. You might have another window open, because I don't think anybody else is hearing music, and I'm not broadcasting music, so it's got to be something playing on your side. Okay? So here's the deal, you guys. Check this out. What percentage of people that attend webinars do you believe actually achieve their stated goals within 90 days of leaving a live event? What percentage? What would you guess? Would you say 90%, 50%, 10%? Where would you guess? All right, 2%, 15, 5, 10, 2, 1, 7. All right, all over the place. All right, here is the reality. Okay, here's the simple reality. We did a survey with thousands of people, and we asked them one simple question. How many of you have been to events, you've been excited, you've been motivated, maybe even you've watched infomercials and you've been excited and motivated to buy real estate no money down, or to get in the best shape of your life by following those DVDs, or watching that online course that's going to teach you how to triple and quadruple your internet marketing business, right? Or your networking business. You've all seen those. You've all been there, right? I did the same thing. Here's the reality. Only 4% of the people who attend those webinar or those live events actually are achieving their goals based on their feedback. 4%. Now, if that's a 4% success rate, that means it's a what failure rate? 4% success means a what failure rate? 96% failure rate. And this is an industry that you're going to help you become more successful. It's not like you're going to the auto mechanic industry seminar, which is learning how to do lug nuts, right? You're going to the thing to learn how to be more successful. That's an issue, okay? And some of you might say, well, it's because they're not even trying. That's true in some cases, but I think you're going to find out there's actually something else going on. Now, in the industry, it's called the hot bath effect. And I've been around this industry for 20 years. I've built companies in technology and in the transformation industry. I'm friends with some of the best motivational speakers on the planet, from Tony Robbins to Bob Proctor to John Assaraf to Jack Canfield. These are friends of mine. We built companies together. And the information they're teaching is right on if you can apply it. But I'm going to share with you why people can't apply it. And by the way, this may have something to do with the people who are in this audience right now who are having trouble building their business. They're having trouble growing their audience. They're having trouble creating the financial freedom that they want. So pay attention, all right? Be present, okay? And there's no sharing the bathtub with that gal, okay? But it's called the hot bath effect. And at first, the speakers didn't like me talking about this. It's kind of the pink elephant in the room. And I finally said, guys, we got to change this, because every one of them tells you two things you should do. Number one, set goals. Right? How many of you have heard that before? I need to set goals. That's one of the big keys to life. And they throw out some random percentage that says, 96% of the people who achieve success do it because they set goals. We've all heard that. That's bogus. They're making that crap up. Okay? Setting goals is one thing. The second thing they always tell you to do is what? Set daily actions. Okay, well, that makes sense. If I have a target and I'm taking daily actions, I'm going to get there, right? Well, if it's that simple, then why is it that so many people who set goals and are taking daily actions are still struggling like this poor kid who's got his underwear pulled over his forehead and is getting the wedgie of a lifetime? Why is it? Why is it so many people are still failing at their goals? And some of you are like, Craig's like, how do I try that on my little brother? Well, don't do that. I didn't advise that. Okay, but here's the deal. All right, why is it? What's the difference between setting goals and achieving goals? What's the difference? What do you guys think? What's the difference between setting a goal and achieving a goal? Any ideas? All right, action, commitment, results. Okay, but we already said you got to set a goal and take action, right? Let me ask you a question. How many of you took some kind of action today? You got up and you brushed your teeth or your hair, you took a shower, you said hi to somebody, you made a phone call, you logged online. Every one of us, right? Every one of us is taking actions during the day. Unless you're completely unable to physically move, you're taking an action. So we're all taking actions. What's the difference between someone who's extremely successful and somebody who isn't? What's the difference? Well, I want to ask you a question. Well, actually, I want to share something, and then I'll ask you a question. The other day, I got a phone call from somebody who was a little frustrated. They were just in a bit of overwhelm, and they had so much going on in their life, they just didn't know what to do. And they called me up and they're like, oh my gosh, I just need another couple hours in the day. I can't get everything done that I need to do. And this was a habit for this person. It had been going on for a while, right? They were constantly in a state of overwhelm, and yet the results they're producing in life were way below what their potential is. Now, I know this isn't you guys, but maybe you know somebody else like this, right? But they were underperforming. And what we found was, and I asked them a question, I said, so let me ask you a question. Is that the new iPhone? And she goes, yeah. And I said, well, the one that you got, how many hours did you get in a day? And she goes, what are you talking about? I got 24 hours. And I go, well, that's funny because that's what I got too. And that's what Richard Branson got, and that's what the Dalai Lama got, and that's what Oprah got. So what's the difference? How come some people can be really, really busy and yet not producing the results that they want in their life? Here's the reason why. Where do you invest the majority of your time in your life? Now, here's what I'm saying to you. Ask yourself this question. If I were to look at your last 24 hours and look at the actions you took over the last 24 hours, and then do the same thing for the last 90 days, and I had somebody who followed you around like with a video camera, like a reality TV crew, and they watched exactly what you did. They watched the foods that you ate. They watched if you did or didn't exercise. They watched what you did for wealth creating activities, high revenue generating or low revenue generating. They watched who you talked to and how you talked to them. They looked at your environments and your networks, and they looked at what you did. Those activities, where you invest your life, is determining a lot of your results. True or true? So if you were to come to Jonathan's house or my house for the next 90 days, and you could live with us, and you did exactly what we did as far as our workouts and how we did our relationships and how we did our business building, would that be different, you think, than what you're doing on a day-to-day basis? What if we came to your house and lived with you for 90 days and we did exactly what you did? Would we get wealthier, healthier, and happier, or would we be heading the other direction? Now, before you ask, Jonathan and I are not opening up our homes to 1,000 people for 90 days to come live with us. We've already done that. Not 1,000, but a handful. Okay? But here's the reality. Most people are not investing their life in where they get the biggest return. But here's the second reason, or actually one of the other reasons, why people have a challenge creating their ultimate life, why they struggle, why they continue to have frustration. How many of you can guess what the second reason is? Any ideas? And by the way, it's not environments. We're not going there yet. So it's where they invest their time. But what else determines whether someone consistently achieves their goal? Prioritization, fear, whether they believe in themselves, their mental game. What else? Their focus, their support, their beliefs. You're getting closer. You guys are getting closer. Okay, ignorance, character, fear of failure. A lot of inner game stuff showing up, huh? Whether they have a vision, their positivity, their others. Okay, we'll talk about environments in a minute. This is something that most people ignore, but it determines a lot of our success or failure. And here it is. How many days does it take to create a habit? How many days does it take to create a habit? Charles is saying 21, 90, 21, 32, 60, 40. We're all one day, we're all over. Here's the simple reality. You don't have any idea. How many of you have known somebody that has smoked or drank for 40 years and in one day they quit? That's it. They're never going to do it again. I actually coached somebody who had smoked for 40 years, and we did an intervention, a laser coaching process on him. He switched. He's not smoked in over a decade. His name's Michael. Amazing, amazing guy. So how many of you have also known people that have done the opposite? Their life's been going really well, and then something happened. They got a divorce or a death or something happened to them, and they went from doing really well to just crashing. How many of you know somebody like that? Okay? So here's the reality. We don't know if it's going to take you 21 days to create wealth, health, and happiness or 90 days. But somewhere in between there, your habits, if you're taking action every day, are going to change towards the direction of the habits. But here's part of the challenge. And this is why people go to the events. They get pumped up, they get excited, but they can't follow through. Here's the reason why. It's partially the habits, but here's the other reason why. Most people are trying to use willpower to force themselves to work out. Most people are trying to use willpower to force themselves to say no to the chocolate cookies late at night. Most people are trying to use willpower to force themselves to build their internet business or their networking business. Most people are forcing themselves to take the actions that are against their natural programming and against their environments. Here's the challenge. Your willpower is a mental faculty. And if you've developed it, great. But if you haven't, it's kind of like a light switch. And here's what I mean. Imagine that we walk into a dark room, there's no lights on, and there's a light switch. I click the light switch up, but this light switch has a switch on it. It automatically goes back off. So I reach back over, I lift it back up, and then click, it goes back down again. That light switch automatically goes off. Your willpower is the same way. You see, most people are trying to use willpower to change their habits. The problem is willpower is only on when you turn it on. But what I want to share with you now is a concept that one of my mentors shared with me. And this is where you want to take notes. And yes, that's why people do the roller coaster, okay? It needs to be a habit. It needs to be a routine. But even if you have proper habits, is it possible that something could come along that would take you out of your normal habits? Absolutely. And here's the reality. When I learned this one diagram, and this is what I want you to pay attention to, take notes on this, because when I learned this from Thomas Leonard, who's one of my mentors, who's no longer with us, I asked him a question. I said, Thomas, why is it that thousands of people every day are going to these live events? They're buying the books, the tapes, the seminars. They're buying the online programs. And they have the best intentions, but they don't follow through. They don't take action. And he said, I'll tell you why. They're trying to use willpower to change their behavior instead of designing environments. And it just hit me. I got it. The environments are dictating the way that we think and the actions we take. Now, I'm going to take you into an overview of this, but in the 90-day challenge, we're going to do this for a full hour, and I'm going to show you how you're either doing life by design or life by default. I'm going to show you how you're either creating environments for wealth, health, and happiness, or your environments are silently pulling you down into being unhappy, sick, and broke. And it works every single time. Every single time. You're either doing life by design or life by default. Now, which do you think is a better way to do life? Think about it. It's obviously to do life by design. But I didn't even know that this thing existed until Thomas shared it with me. So here's what we're going to do. All right, we're going to go through. I'm going to give you some quick notes, and then I want you guys at the end of this, you're going to rate. Actually, no, let's do it now. Let's go ahead and have you rate your environments now, and then you're going to share with me any insights or any ahas that you're having, and then we're going to turn some music on. We're going to have some fun. So all those in favor of learning the environments and then doing another dance break, say aye. I need to see the eyes. All right. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anybody opposed? Good. Motion carried. All right, here we go. Now, in the middle is something called YOU. Now, the YOU is the part of you that is unchanging. Now, what I mean by that is that at the time of death, the body environment will actually begin to decay, right? It goes back to dust. But what is it that makes you alive? Well, some people call it your soul, your spirit, God, source, energy, whatever you want to call it. It's the part of us that lights us up. It's the part of us that gives us life in the physical plane. Now, that part of us never changes, okay? When we're born, our soul comes into a body. That's some people's belief. And all of a sudden, bing, you've got a baby. But let me ask you a question. Do babies have beliefs? Do babies have language when they're first born? Do they know how to speak? Do they know how to communicate? Do they have language? They don't, right? They learn it, as Charlie is saying. You have to learn language, like you have to learn everything about life. So when you come in, you're a blank slate. Now, your memetics, which is this next circle, and by the way, how many of you have never heard the word memetic before? Like it's brand new, never heard the word memetic, M-E-M-E-T-I-C. Okay, so Drew and Daryl, and all right, cool, awesome. So here's where we get to learn, right? So here's the deal. Memetic stands for memes, and memes are the ideas or beliefs that have been handed down from generation to generation to generation. So your beliefs, in other words, the way that you see everything in life, is based on what? Your belief is based on the beliefs of the people who were around you, your environments, as Daryl's saying, your outer 8 environments. Now, who were those primary people? Who were they? Your parents. What else? Who are the people that raised you? They taught you how to speak. They taught you how to think. They gave you part of their personality. Yeah, friends, teachers, church. Yeah, well, eventually workplace. Most of you guys weren't working between the age of 0 to 7, were you? Okay, 0 to 7, yeah, and somebody says cartoons, media, TV, that's memetics, that's information. Now, did you know that the average child, by the time that they're 18 years old, if they're here in the U.S., they will see 30,000 violent murders on TV by the time they're 18 years old? Now, if most of our core programming comes from the age of 0 to 7, let me ask you this question. When you were programmed, did the people and environments around you program you to be happy, healthy, and wealthy, or unhappy, sick, and broke? What do you think? Now, here's the crazy thing. From 0 to 7, we get our core programming, our core software, like a computer. It's like our operating system. And on top of that, you add more and more information and references. So the way that you see the world financially is based on the memes that you have. The way you see your body is based on the memes that you have. And by the way, I'm not saying that all of the beliefs are good or all of them are bad. They just are what they are. The simple question I would ask you is, if you knew that you were being programmed by the environment, and you could go back and change it, would you like to be programmed by design or by default? Which one? Would you automatically allow all the people from your past to reprogram you with everything that they know about wealth, health, and happiness? Okay. You'd rather do it by design. Well, I got some bad news. It doesn't work that way. Okay? Because not only did you get your core programming from them, you've been acting based on that software, that program, for however many years you've been alive. And some of you've made some changes. That's awesome. But if you've not changed all of the environments, if you've maintained those environments, guess what? The inner game will continue to create the outer results. And the outer results will continue to remind the inner game of those results. Okay? So here's the thing. The memetics are a big part of our game. I want you to rate yourself on your mindset on a scale of 0 to 10. Now, if 0 is I'm horrible in my thinking, I just know that mentally I can't focus on wealth, health, and happiness. I'm distracted all the time. I'm unclear. I'm focused. I'm positive. Mentally, my beliefs are destroying it. Okay? That's a 0. Most of you aren't going to be there. You might be at a 1 or 2 or 5 or 7 or 8, 9. 10 is I am the master of my mind. I only allow positive information in my mind. I have the ability to maintain focus on what I want, and that is positive and moving forward. Okay? Very cool. Awesome. All right, so that's your memetics. Now, your memetics are creating a lot of the outer environments. Let's start with your physical environment. Your physical environment, P-H-Y-S-I-C-A-L, physical, means it's tangible. So if you look around right now, look around you and ask yourself, is my physical environment adding energy or draining? Is it inspiring me or expiring me? So when I look at my physical environment, the colors on my walls, the artwork that I have, the ocean view, 180-degree ocean view, is inspiring to me. I love the physical place that I live in. We live in a beach house. I love it here. I live in an incredible part of the world. When you think about your car, your office, your possessions? Is it adding energy to you? Is it pulling you into your bigger goals? Or are there a lot of things you're tolerating? Is there a lot of clutter? Are there a lot of things that you're putting up with? Is it distracting you? Is it actually preventing you from being who you want? If I were to come to your environments, your home, your office, and your car, and I were to look at those, could I see that this is somebody who's wealthy, healthy, and happy? Or would I see something else? Would I see a lot of equipment that's broken? Would I see a lot of clutter? Would I see confusion and chaos? Okay, I won't be looking in your window anymore, Charles. All right, here's the reality. That physical environment is impacting you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The 4% who succeed, they recognize this, and they're meticulous about their environments. Even if they're not aware of it, they're meticulous about their environments. Does this make sense? And yes, Adam, it's time to clean your room. Okay, so here's the deal. The physical environment is one of the environments. It's on, like that light switch, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now your financial environment, where would you rate yourself in the financial? And by the way, this should be stirring up some stuff for you guys. Okay, where would you rate yourself in the financial? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do you have an abundance of cash? Do you have passive income? Do you have investments? Do you have a foundation in place? Are you in abundance and reserves? Or are you dealing with stress and debt and struggle? You know, do you not know how to generate revenue? Okay. By the way, there's no way to go to -5. 0 is the lowest. I know if you have debt, you're probably thinking, well, I'm in the negative. No, 0 is the lowest. Okay. Cool. And I see everything, not everything, but close. All right, so that's your financial environment. Let's look at your network environment. Now, your network environment, and I said neat work on accident, but I kind of like that. Your network environment is the groups, associations, the people that you invest the most time around, okay? Now, this is a network. We're a network of people. Are the people that you invest time around positive and inspiring and uplifting, or are they draining you? Are they pulling you forward, or are they dragging you down? Be honest, because this is just you rating it, okay? Where would you rate your network environment, okay? Good. Let's look at the relationships environment. All right, where would you rate your relationships? Do you have loving, passionate, supportive relationships, or do you have drama and chaos and all kinds of stuff in your relationships? Okay, and some of you are like, gosh, I have a little bit of both. So you might rate it a 50-50. You know, do you have people that have problems, or they have a lot of addictions, or are they the positive people and you feel better every time that you're around them, and they feel better when they're around you? Okay, now let's go into the body environment. The body environment is your energy, right? Do you have a lot of energy? Are you in health? Or do you have disease and repair? Do you have pain and you're suffering in your body? Where would you rate your body environment? Okay, and some of you are like, I'm at a 10. Woohoo! That's awesome. That's great. All right. And by the way, I'm just trying to give you a quick overview. We do an hour of this in the 90-day challenge. Now, the next environment is the self environment. Okay? Now, your self environment is your strengths, gifts, your talents. It's how you communicate. It's your values. And some people don't even know their values. You'll learn that in the course, okay? But your values and your strengths and gifts and talents is called your inner architecture or your self-environment. Now, if you're playing to your strengths, gifts, and talents, you probably have more and more energy every day. If you're not, you're probably tolerating a lot of things in your life. So where would you rate your self-environment? All right, very cool. Now, the next environment is called your spiritual environment. And where would you rate your spiritual environment? Your spiritual, by the way, we're going to remove religion out. There's 17 major religions, and they have some common beliefs. But the spiritual environment is this. It is your connection to a higher power, whatever you call it. Maybe it's a symbol that reminds you of that connection, or maybe it's a place that you go to worship, whether it's meditation or a mosque or synagogue or church or whatever it is, okay? But rate your spiritual connection. Do you feel like you're on purpose with your life? Do you feel passionate about where you're going? Do you feel connected to everything? Okay, or do you feel disconnected? All right, last one. The last one is the nature environment. Nature environment. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people look at nature as something out there. But the reality is we have to have nature in order to survive. I don't know about you, but I can't live very long without food and water and oxygen. And if you look at the Earth from space, this ball that we live in has a little layer around it called the ozone. That inside that ozone is the oxygen. There's no new oxygen. We don't get oxygen from space. There's no new oxygen. There's no new water. We're recycling everything. So we have to have clean air and clean water and healthy food in order to survive as a species. But what's happened is a lot of people have disconnected themselves from nature. They're driving around in their cars with their windows up and the air conditioning on, right? They're not connected to nature. They're coming into their office, an air-conditioned office. They're under fluorescent lights and hard concrete floors all day in front of computers. What we're doing is we're destroying the body environment and we're disconnecting from nature, okay? Now, some of you live in parts of the world where you can't be in nature that often, okay, because there's not enough sunlight for you, or it's constantly, snowing, and that affects your body, it affects your attitude, and all these kind of things, okay? Cool. So, all right, here's my question, and we're going to switch gears, all right? What insights are you having about the 9 environments? Is this teaching you anything about your life and your ability to achieve your goals? Are you doing life by design, or are you doing life by default? What are you learning? I want to hear from you guys real quick before we actually turn on one of my favorite environments, which is a mimetic environment. Okay, so we got a little bit of design, a little bit of default. Some of you are honestly, and by the way, I love the honesty and the transparency. You're like, Anthony's going, I'm winging it. Like I'm winging it. Okay? Here's the simple reality, guys. When I went through school, and you guys tell me, when you went through the education system, did you learn about math, science, English, and history like I did? I was well equipped for that world, but that didn't have anything to do with being successful in life, at least not for me. So where do you learn about how to do life? And not just learn about how to create wealth, health, and happiness, but how do you actually force yourself to go through a process that changes your behavior and upgrades your environments? Okay? It is what it is. I mean, let's not hark on what it is, but I believe that we as a society have got to prepare ourselves to win at the game of life. And these 9 environments, for me, represent a lot of life. Okay? So, are you guys learning stuff? Is this cool? Do you like this kind of information? Is it getting you to look at your life a little differently? All right, very cool. Awesome. So here's what I want to do. Now, one of the most important things in life and to achieve wealth, health, and happiness is to manage our energy. So we're going to take a dance break, which I love to do at the beginning, the middle, and the end of our webinars. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about one of the coolest environments that exist. We've actually figured out how to gamify your life. In other words, we've turned the achievement of wealth, health, and happiness into a game, and what we're going to talk to you about is how those environments are designed, how you can literally play a game in the virtual world and in the real world, but it gives you real world results. Is that cool? And by the way, you're never too old to start, okay? I have people who have been in our webinar that are in their 60s and 70s that have never jogged before, and they're starting to jog. We've got people that are going to be running marathons. We've got people that have started at 80 years old, new business careers. If you're still fogging a mirror, you're still in the game of life. You may need some help, you may need some support, but guess what? The game is always on until you're gone. That's the reality. The game is always on until you're gone. Okay? Very cool. And you can fog a mirror, you're in. All right, you guys ready for some energy? All right, here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to get out of that, I don't want to do this feeling, and get into this. You know what? Screw it. Let's have some fun. Let's change the way we're doing life. Let's not look back at the old way. Let's look at the new way. So everybody stand up, and even if you're in a Starbucks or in your office or if you're in your bed right now, get out of bed and stand up. We're going to play some high energy music. We're going to dance it out, and we're going to have an absolute blast. Now, I very purposely pick music based on the way it makes us feel and the words. So listen to this, have fun, and I want you to imagine this song is going to be your anchor to starting a new life based on happiness, health, and wealth. We're done talking about unhappy, sick, and broke. We're talking about happiness, health, and wealth. All those in favor of having fun, say aye. Let me see it. All those in favor of having fun, say aye. Boom, let's do it. Game time, my friends. Just your average night, right? Another typical webinar, not so much. So here's the beautiful thing. We get to create this environment and we get to create this game. And the most amazing thing about this is we're creating this together, right? We're here to design new lives for everybody who's on this webinar. So what I want to do now, we've kind of talked about your goals. We've talked about actions. We've talked about habits. A lot of it has to do with your habits. But what creates your habits is what? What creates your habits? Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shut down the chat just for a second because I can tell you guys are fired up, but we want to get focused. I'll turn it back on a little bit. What creates your habits is your environments. And so what I hope you got was take a look at the environments you currently have in your life and ask yourself, are they pulling you into the direction that you want? If they're not, what if we were to add or remove some environments that pull you into a bigger game? Would that be cool? Yeah, it would, right? All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I want to talk to you about a game that we've designed, and this game has been designed over the last decade with tens of thousands of people from all over the world. And what this game does is it's really simple. Number one, it has you set 3 goals. Now, the goals are in the area of happiness, health, and wealth. And I'm going to turn this back on now because I want you guys to share with me if you could accomplish any goal in the next 90 days. Any goal in the next 90 days, what would it be? What would some of your goals be? How do I invite someone to your webinar? All right, so some of you want to get rich. Okay, well, we got to clarify that. Some of you want to lose weight. How much weight? Some of you want to be financially free. What does that mean? Get specific with your goals. All right, business growth. Listen, some of you say, well, I want to make more money. Well, if you made $1 more in the next 90 days, is that good? Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. All right, there we go. Get specific. So I want to get debt free. Well, how much debt do you need to pay off? Okay, make $10,000 a month. That seems to be for a lot of people. Make $3,000 a month. Cool. Okay, house on the beach with an infinity pool. Nice, Charles. $10,000 a month. $300,000. $5,000. Okay, so a lot of wealth goals, right? What about your health goals? If you could accomplish any health goal in the next 90 days between October 1st and December 10th, because that's when we're running this 90-day live challenge, what would it be? Your health goals. Okay, so lose 25 pounds. We want to state it as I would want to be at this weight. Okay, you want to eliminate sugar. That's kind of a habit. Very cool. You want to run a 5K. Nice. You want to develop the habit of working out consistently. Very cool. All right, get your 6-pack back. That was mine for the last game. All right, I want to be 185 pounds. Nice, John. Very clear. Be an all-star player. Yeah, absolutely. You guys should be shooting for all-star. That's a clear metric, okay? Or maybe you want to go from level 1 player to level 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, right? Very cool. Okay, awesome. LeBron James's body. Well, I think LeBron is using that, Gregory, so you have to design your own. All right, cool. So here's the deal. Yeah, and by the way, one of our goals is to get the Communicator app in the next 90 days. Okay, absolutely. So you're going to set 3 goals. Now, what about in the happy area? What's a happy goal? What's one goal that you want to do just to make you happier in the next 90 days? What's one goal? Maybe it's to move where you live. Maybe it's to propose to somebody. Maybe it's just to figure out what truly makes you happy. You know, I notice there's a lot of people who are having a tough time with life right now. And as a result, they want to blame other people. You know, they're not taking responsibility for how their life is. And that's tough. That's a tough game to win. So maybe some people want to take more responsibility for where they're at. Maybe some people will say, hey, I've got a lot of things that I need to just complete in my life. Getting organized, right? Reducing clutter. Very cool. Downsize. Yeah, eliminate all the stress. All right, so we're going to set 3 goals. You guys have a good start. Now, here's the thing that we've learned about goals. Setting goals is one thing. We've already talked about this. But achieving goals is another whole thing. So what we've done is we've developed a scorecard, and this is an online scorecard. And what this scorecard is going to do, I'm going to turn this down for a little bit because I want you guys to come back and focus, okay? So step 1 is we're going to help you set clear and inspiring goals. Step 2, and by the way, you will change your goals as the course evolves because you'll start to realize, wow, some of these goals aren't really working for me and they're not what I really want. You won't discover that till you get on the field or in the game. Step 2 is you're going to take 3 actions, not tail, but take 3 actions a day, okay? And we have an online scorecard. Now, the reason we put an online scorecard in is that a lot of times people will think they're going to take these actions. But the moment we begin tracking it, we get to see what people actually do versus what they say they do, okay? So you're going to take 3 actions a day. We're going to track it on the scorecard, and we have a point system. Now, if you take 3 actions a day and you do them, you get your points. If you commit to an action but you don't do it, you get 0 points for the day because this game is about developing habits of wealth, health, and happiness. And think about it this way. If you're taking 3 actions a day, Monday through Friday, so 5 days a week, 3 times 5 is 15, okay? That's 15 focused actions every week. That's not a lot, right? You guys probably took 150 actions today. 15 focused actions towards wealth, health, and happiness, Monday through Friday. We're going to play for approximately 90 days. So at the end of 90 days, you will have taken approximately 180 focused actions towards happiness, health, and wealth. What's going to happen is you're going to start to develop new habits, new behaviors, new mimetics about your life. And we're going to do it one little action at a time, okay? That's the beautiful thing about this program is that you're going to simply take 3 actions a day and move you towards your results. Step number 3, stay connected. We've designed environments to keep you engaged. One of the reasons that people don't succeed after they go to the live events is they come back to their normal what? When you go to the live event, you come back to the same old home, same old office, the same old place that you've always been, and as a result, what happens is you end up going back into your old behaviors. So we want you to stay connected, and we've got multiple ways to do that. We've got a private Facebook group. We've got an online membership area with a lot of activity, but here's where it really happens. We've got 4 primary environments. Number 1, we've got a training environment, which I'll talk about in a second, a coaching environment. We've got a structured environment like the scorecard, and we've got the support of every player is in the community. But here's what we also have. We're also pairing you up with accountability partners. So you're going to take an assessment that'll teach you how you communicate. We'll use those to pair you up with other players in the game so that you can inspire each other to continue to succeed every day. And you're going to connect with them very briefly for just a minute or 2 every day, maybe 5 minutes, to keep each other on track virtually. All right? So let's talk about the first environment. This is the training environment. And how many of you, by the way, let me pop this open here. How many of you like this environment? Like you like this environment of this live, interactive, back and forth? Isn't this better than some of the other environments for experience? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, imagine that you've gathered with this community, this team, and all of you guys have been setting goals and taking actions every day. And then you come back and you're sharing your wins, right? You're using your scorecard. You're having breakthroughs mentally. Well, what we've done is we've also created 9 live interactive webinars. And every one of these webinars is in this kind of format, right? Here's the deal. These 9 webinars are not just random content. I've designed this content over the last decade that every week it meets you where you're at. And the modules are designed specifically. So week 1 is called How to Play and Win the Game of Life. So I'm going to give you some insights and secrets on how to win this game over the next 90 days and some of the pitfalls that players before you have stepped in, and you don't have to do that. But here's one of the biggest lessons. This game is a giant mirror. And what I mean by that is this. The game's a giant mirror, meaning that we're going to take 90 days out of your life. We're going to track your progress towards your goals every day. And we're going to review the game tapes to see what you're doing that's working and what you aren't. But we're not going to wait till 90 days is up. We're going to do this every week. And we're going to look at whether you're performing or whether you're not so that we can make real-time adjustments. How many of you guys have watched professional football or soccer or hockey or any of that kind of thing? Football's doing a lot of this now. You know, the offense will go out on the team and they throw an interception, right? And let's say it's Peyton Manning. The minute Peyton Manning comes off the field, what is he doing? He's looking through the photographs of the play that was just run. And he's talking to his team and he's like, oh, this guy did this. I didn't see him and I threw the interception. They go back out, they readjust, and they go again. Okay? But let me ask you a question. How many people in life ever review the game tapes? They don't. So they keep repeating the same patterns over and over again. So in week 1, we're going to do how to play and win the game of life. Week 2, we're going to do goal setting and achieving. Now there's 14 things that people do that either move them ahead in their goals or actually hold them back, completely keep them struggling. We're going to share those with you because we've seen it with thousands of people. Number 3, week 3 is eliminate and simplify. Here's what happens in people's lives. How many of you, show of hands, how many of you have, hold on one sec, I've got to close my door here. Okay. How many of you have way too much going on in your life? Like part of your reason that you haven't achieved what you want is you've just got a really busy life. Be honest. Okay? A lot of people, right? Okay. A lot of people have really busy lives. So we know that. So part of the game is to actually start to simplify life, clean out the clutter, get rid of some of the obligations, get rid of those 1,000 emails, get rid of the garage full of junk that you have in there that's actually trapped in stored energy. Okay? So what we're going to do is help you learn how to eliminate and simplify your life. Now, week 4 is really powerful. This and week 5 are just mind blowers for a lot of people, literally. Week 4 is winning the inner game. We're going to talk about your habits and patterns. We're going to identify what patterns and habits you've been changing by the 4th week. Now, how many days did we say that it takes to change a habit? How many days? How many days did we say? Who knows? But here's the thing. About 4 weeks into the program, something happens internally. And what I mean is this. If you've not been working out for 6 months or 6 years, and all of a sudden you start working out for 3 or 4 weeks, or if you've not been doing the wealth things you need to, and all of a sudden you start doing them, no matter what it is, if you start new habits, your mind is going to pop up something called the 5 hindrances. Now, you may want to write this down because when these pop up, you're going to bring them into the coaching gyms, and we're going to help you break through these. The 5 hindrances is something I learned from someone by the name of Dr. James Hart at the BioCybernaut Institute, where CEOs and politicians and professional athletes and Navy SEALs go to have their brains monitored. They monitor their neuroactivity. And what they found is that when a pattern or habit's about to change, the mind pops up a signal. It's a warning signal to say, hey, you've not been working out forever, and now you are. You've not been paying your finances, and now you are. What happens is it kicks up doubt, fear, anxiety, ill will, and anger. Those are the 5 hindrances: doubt, fear, anxiety, ill will, and anger. So how many of you, by the way, have experienced that when you've been going along fine and all of a sudden, boom, you just drop off? You were doing great and then you stop. New Year's resolution, you're working out fine for 3 weeks, you're eating healthy, and all of a sudden, it goes the other direction. You're starting to make sales, your income's climbing, and all of a sudden you just disconnect, you disengage. What's happening is you have an internal system and you're misreading it. You think that it's telling you that you need to stop what you're doing. It's not. It's telling you you need to adjust. And do you want to break through? Okay? It's doubt, fear, anxiety, ill will, and anger. Okay? And by the way, for those of you who have to go but you're going to come play the 90-day challenge, they can get with the person who brought you here and they'll give you a link because this game starts on Tuesday and we've got some special bonuses that I'm about to go into. All right, so I just noticed what time it is. I'm going to move this along a little. So that's what happens in week 4. Week 5 is the 9 environments of you. We're going to invest an hour helping you identify and upgrade your environments. This 1 hour alone, I've had people that have hired me to do keynotes for 10,000 and above just to talk about that one specific content, the 9 environments of you. The next one is foundation for success. I want to build a solid foundation with you. I don't want you to get short-term success. I want you to have long-term, happy, healthy, wealthy success. The next one is know and live your true values, okay? Now, most people don't know their values, but we have an assessment we're going to give you that will help you understand what motivates you unconsciously. It makes you understand how you're motivated. The next one is focus and law of attraction, number 8. What happens is that most people, when they start getting their life going, a lot of things start coming in. They don't know how to maintain focus, so they get off track. We're going to teach you how to attract more great stuff in your life and how to stay laser beam focused. Next one is awareness in action. This is one of my favorites because we're going to look at how you've been playing the game. We're going to take a really good look at the last 90 days, and you're going to discover what has and hasn't been working for you at a whole different level. And then webinar 10 is one of my favorites because it's called the victory lane. And the victory lane is really simple. You guys are going to come to the final celebration webinar that's live and interactive. You're going to type in all of your wins that you've been having over the course of 90 days because you're going to track these wins. And what's going to happen for some of you guys is you're finally going to prove to yourself that you can truly create whatever you want in life if you stay focused, take action, and you're in the right environments. Okay? Now, what's cool about this is that we've designed all these environments to help you. But one of the most powerful ones, besides the 9 live interactive modules and webinars that we just talked about that are just like this format, we've also got laser coaching gems that are in a very similar format, just like this. But here, people will type in their challenges, and I will work with somebody one-on-one in 10 minutes or less to help them break through their challenges, okay? What that means is things come up in the game. We don't want you to get derailed. We don't want you sitting on the bleachers. We want you in the game. So I'm going to work with that one person, and then everybody else gets to hear and experience that breakthrough. Oftentimes, people say that listening to other people have these breakthroughs is just as powerful as anything that they've ever experienced in life, because you then get to see somebody else have this type of breakthrough. There's 9 of those. That's 9 hours of live interactive webinars and 9 hours of live interactive coaching. Tell me what programs out there give you that kind of support. Most of them go to a seminar for 2 days and then say, good luck, hope it works out. Well, you've already seen that results, right? They don't stay with you. And of course, I couldn't have you in my home for 90 days. There's not room for everybody. But I can meet you in your home, in your office, no matter where you are in the world. And we can help you transform your life in 90 days. The real rewards are this. Every single day you're taking 3 actions. That's it. And now you get to reward yourself. You get to start winning at the game of life, and it's really, really fun. There's thousands of people before you that have been 10xing their results. They've made amazing shifts in their life. They've had incredible, incredible changes. Luann had never done an Ironman before. She's now an Ironman. It's incredible. Leo built his own online business and moved to an environment that he loved. Remax Metro 100, Mary Jo Drummond, over on the east coast of Washington, D.C., has had major changes in her life. She actually got out of a relationship that wasn't working. She started doing better in her real estate career. Lois Blumenthal was a director on the show called Heroes, and she just wasn't sure that she could make it any bigger than that. She's played her 90-day challenge. She's completely changed her self-confidence. She's got her strength and her power back, and now she's a director on the show called Pretty Little Liars, and she attributes a lot of her success to being in the Ultimate Game or the Tug community. Okay, Makola was almost broke when we met. Makola's over in Russia. I'm actually having dinner with him tonight. He flew in. We're having dinner. He's gone from making almost nothing to over 7 figures a year doing what he loves. And Adele is now traveling the world as a speaker and teaching people principles about how to transform their lives. Shaylee Gregg, somebody I met through Jonathan Budd, came into our program, played the 90-day challenge, and paid off over $6,000 in debt. So we're going to give you the goals, we're going to give you the environments, we're also going to help you with strategies on how to get yourself ahead, okay? Just remember, life is a team sport, and you don't have to do this on your own. We're here for you. We're going to play with you. We're going to help you build your business. We're going to help you take care of your finances. We're going to help you get in the best shape of your life. But we can't do it all. You have to show up. You have to make the commitment. The best reward that you guys could give yourself is to give yourself the commitment to play a bigger game. So again, 9 live training webinars, not 3 coaching gems, but 9 live coaching gems, the online scorecard, the accountability partner, and the private Facebook group. We've already created the ultimate environment for your transformation. All you have to do is show up and start asking yourself, what do I want to accomplish? Now, I'm not a big fan of these, hey, this is all worth that, but the reality is, think about other programs you've bought where you've gone to a one-day seminar for $500, or you've bought a downloadable video series for $2,000, right? Or you've gone to a weekend mastermind retreat on an island for 10 grand. We are worth you for 90 days, almost every single day of the week. There's a one-time fee for those of you who are going to play this 90-day challenge live, and I only teach this live twice a year, okay? So you can, this is a pretty powerful thing, and we're going to do this as a group. It's a one-time fee of $497, but for the Rippling community, we've got some special bonuses, so hang on for another 3 minutes, and I'll share these with you. Actually, here they are. All right, so we've got some exclusive bonuses. For those of you who purchase the 90-day challenge through Rippling, you're actually going to get a 1-year MVP bonus. That means that your Rippling commissions are going to double on both coaching rewards and loyalty rewards for 1 year. That's a pretty incredible thing, right, if you think about it. So for those of you who want to level up and be a player, and you know that over the next year you want to get your check from $1 to 10 to $100, or from $100 to 200, or to 1,000, or to 5,000, or 10,000, you know that you've got to invest in building that business. We all know that, okay? But here's the simple reality. You're getting a bonus of the MVP. It's doubling your commissions for the course of the year just for playing the 90-day challenge. I think that's pretty incredible. Here's the other deal. I know that some of you are like, I'm not sure if this is going to work for me. So we want to take the risk out. Here's our 30-day unconditional guarantee. So listen closely. Come to the well, it won't be 9, but come to the live training webinars. Okay? Come interact with us. Play with us. Play full out. You'll even download the modules we'll give you after each lesson, because you get a module after each one. Come to the laser coaching gyms and let us work with you to break through. Use the online scorecard and connect with your accountability partner. If you do those 4 things and you're not totally happy, if you don't feel like your life is changing, at the end of 30 days, we'll refund your money. It's that simple. I've had that refund policy for over a decade, but you have to show up. The only way to not win this game is to either not play or to quit. But if you stay engaged, we'll work with you to overcome those old patterns, to overcome those old beliefs, those ones that are keeping you stuck. You know that you can transform your life, but you've got to take daily action, and you need the right environments to do that, okay? We've created those environments. We've created the training camps, the laser coaching gyms, the online scorecard, and the Facebook support. You just have to make a choice. And if that choice means that you have to figure out how you can come up with $500, then you really need to take a look at where you're at in life. If $500 is a very difficult decision for you, I get it. Okay, I've been in that place myself. And the people who know me and have known me for years know that I was at a time where I was not just financially bankrupt, I was spiritually and emotionally bankrupt. But you know what? I made a decision. I made a decision that I was going to change my life, that I couldn't go any lower. I just couldn't do it. And what I had been thinking and doing and the environments I had been living in, they were holding me back. I was literally living in a bomb shelter in the basement of a home in Point Loma, California. I've got pictures to prove it. I've got friends that live here that were with me at that time of my life. And I went from a bomb shelter to a beach house in less than 90 days. I went from making no money that year and living on my credit cards to over 6 figures in 1 year. And then after that, we went and built companies and took them public. I'm telling you, it only takes one decision to transform your life. But you've got to make a decision. And that decision is you're choosing in or you're choosing out. I can't make that decision for you. But if you believe that you in the next 4 weeks to 90 days can transform your life, we'll help you. That's our deal. Other than that, all we got to do is have fun and get ready for October 1st, because it's going to come and go. The next 90 days is going to come and go. This last quarter of the year, it's going to come and go. The question is, are you going to be wealthier, healthier, and happier or not? That's totally up to you, okay? But I want to do everything I can to get you over whatever limiting thoughts or beliefs you have, because I know what this program can do for you. And I'm giving you 30 days to try it, to lean in, to play full out and play to win. 30 days is enough time to transform your life. 90 days, we set you on a whole new course. You're going to love this program. It's worked for thousands of people before you. So reward yourself. Figure out a way. Listen, I've had people that have sold their couches and their TVs because they realized those environments weren't helping them create wealth. They've sold those things. I've got people that have iPhones that they bought for $400 to $500 and are paying $100 to $200 a month. And they've said, you know what? That's not making me any wealthier. Listen, where there's a will, there's a way. You can find a way. And your game has already started. Whether you believe it or not, your pursuit of happiness, health, and wealth has already started. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be on this webinar if there wasn't something calling you forward to play a bigger game. Well, we're here to support you. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be here for the 90 days in this program every day of the week. And we're going to be inspiring you and challenging you and kicking you in the butt if you need it. All right? I've got my nice guy face on right now. But here's what I can tell you. The people who know me, if I find out that you're not playing to your potential, I'll be nice. I'll give you the carrot, but I'm not afraid to use the stick. And some of us, we need that. I know I did. I needed somebody to kick me in the butt and tell me, you're not playing to your potential. You are wasting your life. The way that you're playing isn't working. I needed to hear that because guess what? The opportunity, the playing field, it's the same for all of us. I don't have any more time in the day than you do. I don't have any more opportunities than you do. We have to create those opportunities. And the results that I have in my life today are not because of what I did today. They're because of the decisions and the actions that I took 6 months ago and 6 years ago. But if you need to change your life, you have to make that decision. Nobody can make that decision for you. And if you're sitting on the fence, I'll tell you what one of my mentors told me. The only thing you get from sitting on a fence is a sore butt. So get off the fence. Make a decision. If you're at that place right now where you don't have the money, you can't afford not to do this because every decision you've made has gotten you to here. You got to make new decisions and you got to get into new environments. That's the only way to win. Here's the simple reality. There's 7.2 billion players in the game of life. If you can fog a mirror, you're still in the game. There's still a chance. There's still hope. And if you're already doing well, let's take it to the next level. That's what this game is all about. It's about the game of life. And every one of us is going to learn how to play and level up in this game, both financially, in our health, and in our happiness over the next 90 days. There's already a lot of smack talk going around the group about who's going to get in the best shape and who's going to get to all-star faster. I love it. I love that competition. That drives some of you. But some of you, you need support, right? You need somebody to say, hey, I know you had it tough. Let's take one step at a time. Then let's do the next one and the next one and the next one. Let's get you to crawl. Then we walk. Then we run. And we can do that in 90 days, okay? So keep in mind, I know a lot of you want to make a big difference in the world. You want to help a lot of people. I do too. But you've got to remember to be the change that you want to see in the world. That means you've got to show up as the kind of person that other people are attracted to. You've got to show up as the kind of person that somebody goes, I don't know what they've got going on, but I want a piece of that. And if you're not attracting people like that right now, we need to put you in that flow, okay? That is the game that we need to play. So I'm going to give you guys one little opportunity here. I'm going to open up the link, and I just got to find the link real quick. Give me one sec. Oops, where is it? Give me one sec. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity. And then, by the way, we'll ask questions, or I'll answer questions. But I want to do a little dance break with you guys and have some fun. So here's the link for you guys to go register right now. It's called a Fast Pass link. I'm going to post this in the chat, okay? Very cool. And then Mark is asking people submitted questions. I'm going to open up those questions, Mark. I'm going to answer those in just a minute. But before I do that, I know that there's some people who need to go. And I'm going to, hold on one sec. We're going to do a little dance break for all of you guys, okay? So how about this? It is really cool. It's really fun, Sarah, and it's an absolutely awesome, awesome experience. So give me one sec. I got to pull up those tug questions. I'll do it while we're dancing. All right, so let's turn on a little bit of music. Let's have a little fun, and this is another one of those games. Congratulations, Anthony. By the way, if you guys are registering right now, if you know that this is the time for you, type it in. I want to welcome you because I'm going to get to know you guys, okay? I want to get to know you. Yeah, there's a lot of people, Shanda, who don't do well on their own. You need to be a part of a team. All right, let's turn on some music. We may play the whole song, maybe part of this, but check this song out. This song is called Hall of Fame. And I want you to imagine that 90 days from now, you made the decision to play the game. You decided to take 3 actions a day. You decided to go for your goals. You decided to upgrade your environments. And every day, you're moving closer and closer to success. Here's what's going to happen. You register for the game, boom, we start taking action. You're going to get a welcome pack. The only thing you have to do between now and then is download and print the welcome pack, review it real quick, and show up to the webinar on Tuesday. We'll send you all the information about the webinar and start thinking about the goals that you want to accomplish, okay? Listen to this goal, have an absolute blast, and then I'll come back and answer some questions, all right? Here we go. This is Jim Bunch, founder of The Ultimate Game of Life, saying until we connect again, have fun, and remember, it's your choice to create your ultimate life. Have some fun dancing.
the greatest, you can be the best. You can be the King Kong banging on your chest.
You could beat the world, you could beat the war. You could talk to God, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You could be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you gon' find yourself.
Standing in the Hall of Fame,
Yeah,
and the world's gonna know your name.
yeah,
'Cause you burn with the burn of flame,
yeah,
and the world's gonna know your name.
yeah.
And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. You can go the distance, you can run the mile. You can walk straight through hell with a smile.
You could be the hero, you could get the gold. Breaking all the records they thought never could be broke.
Yeah, do it for your people, do it for your pride. And you're never gonna know if you never even try.
Do it for your country, do it for your name. Cause there's gonna be a day when you're
Standing in the Hall of Fame, and the world's gonna know your name. 'Cause you burn with the burn of flame, and the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. Be a champion, be a champion, be a champion, be a champion. On the walls of the Hall of Fame. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions, be truth seekers. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers, yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions. Standing in the Hall of Fame, and the world's gonna know your name. 'Cause you burn with the burn of flame, and the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. You can be the greatest, you can be the best. You can be the King Kong hanging on your chest.
You could be a girl, you could beat the war. You could call your child, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You could be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you can find yourself.
Standing in the Hall of Fame.
That is classic. All right, you guys, so I pulled up some of the questions, but honestly, there's so many questions that I think what we'll do is this. We'll take the next, say, 9 minutes, and I'll post the link one more time, okay? You can either just click on it, it'll open up in a separate window, or you can copy and paste that link, okay? Now, here's what I'd love to do is answer some of your questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. If I can't answer them now, then we'll try to circle back. But what questions do you have? How long does it take each day? Okay, so the game itself is designed that you can play it as fast or as long as you want. You're going to take 3 actions a day. What I do is I plan those 3 actions the night before. So I might have a happy, healthy, and a wealthy action. So let's say my wealthy action is to call 5 people and invite them to Guesseroo. All right, that's my wealthy action for the day. That might take me 10, 15 minutes, whatever it takes, okay, or send them an email or whatever it is. My healthy action might be to go surf or work out or meditate. So I'm going to block out 30 to 60 minutes, depending on the activity. I do that anyways. I love that stuff. And my happy action, my goal this 90 days is to create 100% inspiring environments. So I have another one of these posters that I put little sticky notes on the things that I want to change or fix in each environment. So I pull one of those off. That might take me 10 minutes for the day. Here's the simple reality, you guys. The amount of time that you invest in wealth, health, and happiness is up to you. You can do 5 minutes a day. You can do 5 hours a day. Whatever you want out of your life, you've got to put that energy in. So you decide, okay? And yes, this webinar is recorded. I don't know if we're going to broadcast it back or not. Depends on some of the, this is pretty new technology, or not new, but it's pretty advanced technology when we're streaming audio and video and chat and all this kind of stuff, and it doesn't always record as well. Daryl's asking about payments. There are no payments in this. It's one payment of $497. Okay, and that's because of all the bonuses we have, the commissions that are being paid out. We didn't talk about that before, but half of the $497 is being paid out to the Ripple in commissions for those of you who are in the Ripple. Okay, okay. The partners are chosen by two things. We look at your what's called DISC assessment, which we'll give you in your preseason kit. You take this quick online assessment. It tells us your communication style, so we use that to pair you up with other people that have similar communication styles. And then we also look at where you are in the world. We do our best to figure out, are you in the same time zone or this or that? Okay. I'll teach you more about how to be great accountability partners in the first and second week. Okay. It's a downloadable kit, meaning the welcome guide and the keys to winning guide is downloadable. There are 9 modules that are also downloaded, but the live interactive webinars, obviously, we do them live, we record those, and then they go in your back office membership. Good question, Katie, about spouses. So here's the way it works with spouses. My wife is playing and I'm playing, and I was telling the team the other day, I said, it's really weird. I have never bought my own program that I had to not only pay for, but I'm having to teach it and play in it. So I usually teach it and play in it. But we don't pair spouses up. And the reason is you're an environment of your spouse. We want you to have different environments throughout the 90 days. Of course, you can learn from each other, but if 2 spouses are going to play, it's 2 separate games, right? So you have your own logins, you have your own game, all that kind of stuff. If you want to watch on the same computer, that's fine. We pair you up with different accountability partners. So you would need to register. So I registered under my player account. My wife is registered under a fan account. Okay? Hope that helps. Sarah, there's not a way for us to do a monthly fee on this, but if you can work it out with a friend or a family, maybe what you can do is have them pay for you using their card, and then you can make payments to them. The reason is that these commissions are rolling back into the Ripple, and the agreement we have with Ripple and the Ultimate Game is no payments on this. I apologize for this. Okay. You know the brainchild chicken, but no. What other questions are they in Portuguese? Okay, so Enrique, here's what we're doing. We're running the English version and a Spanish version. The English version's live, the Spanish version's live. They're independent. Spanish starts a week later. What we're doing with Portuguese is we're telling the Portuguese players, go ahead and register, and based on the number of enrollments, we'll decide if we can have a real-time translator in Portuguese. All right? If we don't have the numbers, unfortunately, we will probably have to wait until the next time we run a live game to have a translator. We probably won't know this up until right at the start of the game. If for whatever reason you register and we don't run Portuguese and you don't speak English, which you must or you wouldn't be able to understand me right now, but if some of your people don't understand English, they can register. We will follow up with them and find out that they're Portuguese. We put them in a separate bucket, and if for whatever reason we don't run the Portuguese game, we'll give them the option for the refund, okay? You know what? Some of the questions like how do I pay if I'm out of the country and things like that, send that to support@Rippln, and we'll do what we can to get that turned around. All right, write these times down, and by the way, this will come in your welcome packet too. The game of the live webinars that I'm doing are 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So the same time we started this one, 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. If you can't make all of them or any of them live, you can watch the recordings, obviously, and still play the rest of the game live. Those are Tuesdays at 5 o'clock Pacific. There's 10 of those. There's 9 lessons in the Victory Lap. Thursday at 5 o'clock Pacific is when we do the laser coaching gyms. Okay? I think, Jack, I just answered that. Once a week for the trainings, once a week for the coaching gyms. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 hour each. Okay? Cool. Any other questions? Got it. Awesome. Thanks, Anthony. Okay, you guys. Can I show? I can. I don't have them on this laptop. I can take you down there if you want to go. You probably won't want to go down there. Max, hold off on the. Oh, I see what you're saying, like a translation thing. Why don't you send that through to us, and then we'll test it and that kind of thing. The laser coaches are recorded, yes. Go get some dinner. Thank you, Larry. I appreciate it. I'm actually meeting Mikola and his wife, who flew in from Russia. I'm taking my son down there, and we're going down to celebrate his transformation in his life. You're going to hold me to this game? Awesome. Bring it on, Anthony. Give me your goals, dude. I'm playing too. So I'll share with you my goals. You share me your goals. All right, bro. Boom. Listen, I'm not afraid of a challenge. Let's kick it. Max, send it to support@ripplen.com and just tell him to forward that to me for the translation of this game. You want to know his whole story? Actually, you can look up his whole story online. His name is Mikola Latansky, and he's all over YouTube and stuff like that. That's the Russian that he's actually now teaching our 90-day challenge in Russia. He's built a whole company around the game. There are no books included in the game, but you get modules for each of the lessons. So when I'm teaching it live, right after that, we give you a printed PDF that's usually about 9 to 12 pages with all kinds of cool notes about the topic that I just taught. This is being recorded. I don't know if Ripplen's going to release this or not. Okay, so Mal, just send an email. You should be able to get through here. And then, oh, here's what, so if that's not working, Mal, send an email to support@Ripplen and they'll get you registered. So Anthony, you get PDF modules, you get the MP4s of the live webinars, right? So that you get the video and a guide. Let me show you guys the guide. Hold on. Where did I move it? One second. You know what? I think I gave it to one of my team members. I don't have the guides here. I thought I did. Nope, not in my office. Anyways, there's 9 printable guides, and you get the webinars. Absolutely, Adam. You can start designing your goals and taking your actions today. Okay, you guys. I got to get rocking and rolling. I appreciate you guys staying on for the extra time. Have an awesome, awesome week. I'll see you in the game on Tuesday. And remember, the game is always on. Have an awesome week, everybody. Bye for now.